Yo, 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 let's go, let's go, let's go. It's the Great Debate Show. I like that. I like that, T. How you feeling, brother?
Hey, I'm good, man. You doing all right over there?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. It's a Monday night. We just finished watching Monday Night Raw on Netflix. We've got a ton to talk about from kind of SmackDown to Raw. We won't talk about all of SmackDown and Raw. I'm gonna be honest with you. It ain't a lot to talk about. It's some of the same
Right.
boring fillers and the same old drag and good stretch that we're getting all the way here to Mania. And it has not been one of the better WrestleMania bills, in my opinion. So we'll talk about it in a minute. The Rock wanting Cody Soul and new women tag team champions and all of that. When is Jade Cargill going to return? We've got all of that to talk about and more. We've got football news. We've got basketball news. What we wrong about the Warriors? You know, the Jimmy Butler and Steph and Draymond. What we wrong about Luca and LeBron? They looked great on Saturday night against the Denver Nuggets in Denver. We want to talk about that. Matthew Stafford and the trade buzz, the latest trade buzz with him and this whole quarterback carousel that is going wild right now in the NFL. Stafford, Rodgers, Darnold. Are the Vikings going to keep them?
Wilson.
Are they going to let them walk? Russell Wilson. What's going to happen with these teams? Are the Steelers even just a quarterback away? Debo got multiple teams interested. Well, let's get the trade done then because I'm tired of talking about it and hearing about it. All of that and more here on the Great Debate Show. It's been a crazy weekend. It's been and it's going to be a long week here, I'm sure, with all the buzz that we're going to get. The combine officially started today. No quarterbacks are really throwing. Three quarterbacks, and it's not Shadur Sanders or Cam Ward. I think Cam Ward is undecided, but he's not going to, let's be real, he's not.
Mm-mm.
Shadur's going
He's
to
not a
throw it
throw.
his pro day only. It's just a lot to kind of dive into. So let's just go ahead and do it. The 76ers look bad. Joel Embiid looks bad. He needs surgery or what the hell ever. A lot of people are saying he should be punished though because he shouldn't have played in the Olympics. So we've got a lot to get into. Terrence, what's up, man? What's up? I know that's a lot to take in, and we're gonna start on something here, but
I'm glad you brought that up. I had a conversation with some guys earlier, and what happened to NBA Centel, which is we know is a parody account, tweeted that Joel Embiid was going to retire, and I had a conversation with somebody, and I was like, "Look, I don't think that announcement is far away. The Centel is they're just being funny, but I don't think that announcement is that far fetched. I don't think it's that far away, and." I think the notion that athletes have to play until they're beaten up or they're 45 years old, I think we have to get past that because some of these guys, Embiid he's not from the States. He's not from the States. He came over here to get a better life for his family. They got generational money now. There's no need in constantly trying to play to beat your knees up. You get a surgery and then they hurt again. Like you know how it is once you that big, that tall. Once you get to a certain point and your knees are bad, they're not going to be unbad. Like there's no surgery that's going to make your knees perfect. So like, hey man, there's nothing wrong with retiring if that's the case. If I'm Embiid, I consider it. I really do because what are you playing for? Embiid has been a top two player for about 4 or 5 years. It was always him and Jokic battling for the MVP. Some of those years, people say the Embiid should have gotten the MVP. I'm not arguing against it. Should he have gotten it or not? But my point is that he doesn't have to constantly come out there trying to beat himself up. And as far as playing the Olympics, he didn't look like he was in. He looked like he was in great shape then. I know he had a wedding over the summer as well. Hey man, go raise your kids. Go
yeah,
be a husband, raise your kids, man. You ain't got to keep doing that. What are you doing it for?
right, right.
Not make it clap.
What's up, guys? How y'all doing? Embiid versus Jokic. We're kind of
Oh
talking
my
Embiid,
goodness.
though. Yeah, we did. We are. And welcome to the Great Debate Show. Thank you for joining us. And I know we're going to get some laughs. We always do when they come and join us here in the live chat. The Great Debate Show is live right now on YouTube, and we're available wherever you get your podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you'll be notified each and every time a new episode is up. Share this with your friends and family, and let them know about the one of the best independent podcasts that's not talked about. So Terrence, Embiid, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you. To piggyback off of what you're saying, the contract is the reason why he's hanging around and trying to play. That's what it is. But
Correct.
it's a hell of a contract that nobody would want, so they couldn't trade him. They couldn't really release him. I don't know. Tony says go Ravens. Oh, he sees your Raven in the back, doesn't he, Terrence? Okay. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to really just be on it too long. But the Sixers are a team that when I looked at it on paper, I was like, okay, so Paul George just was added to a team with Maxey and Embiid, and if they can get their bench together, this could be a pretty good team, a good deep team in the Eastern Conference, and maybe they can make some noise to the Knicks, Celtics, and but no, not so much. We're not in the Bucks, another team that it's like, all right, we're waiting. What's up? What are y'all going to do here? So the Sixers, this is just a lost cause for the season. I kind of agree with some of the other people in the media who think that if Embiid wanted to play in the Summer Olympics, he should be playing now. Don't tap out now and throw in a white flag. Like why throw in the towel now? I mean, like, although it looks like he can barely walk, looks like he can barely move, but he shouldn't have played this summer, and nobody shouldn't have allowed him to play. I don't know, and again, he wasn't even playing for his own damn country. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. We know that I have some people in my ear all the time saying that they never have been the biggest fan of Embiid. Most of it because of his inavailability. But when he is available, he would ball. You just said
Oh
that
yeah.
he probably shouldn't have gotten some of Jokic MVPs, and he finally did get one. Yeah, he would ball. But again, the best availability is being available, and he hasn't always been there. It's been up and down. And here we are now.
Yeah. And I mean, you look at even last season. Before he went out, he scored like 70 in a game.
That's right.
I
He
think
sure
that was
did.
against Jokic, if I'm not mistaken. I think that was against Denver.
I don't know about that, but it could have been. It could have been very well so. But I think that was
Yeah.
just last
So like,
season.
hey man,
When it was just
listen, he
last season.
has that was just last season, and then he scored. He had that game, and then after that game, they announced that he was done for the season.
Right, right. Okay.
So
Well,
like, the guy has nothing to be ashamed of if if it is a situation where he can't go anymore, he just can't go anymore. It is what it is. Hey man, get your knee fixed and go ahead and live a happy life. You don't have to worry about money anymore. Nobody, your family has to worry about money anymore. It's different for them. They're not. These guys are not here playing for championships, man. Because, and this is part of the conversation I had earlier. Championships don't grow on trees, man. A lot of these guys don't get rings. We grew up with a whole host of athletes, a whole host of Reggie Millers and Patrick Ewings and Charles Barkley's and Karl Malones and Gary Payton's and a whole lot of people that should have gotten championships and never got them.
that's true. That
Never
is
got
true.
them.
Never got him.
So it's not the end of the world to not get a championship. And look at with the way the team looks, and he's not going to get one in Philly. To me, I think another issue is that Paul George is just flat out overrated. I've
Mm,
been saying it for a little while now, dude. He looks the part, he talks the part, but when's the last time we had a big game from Paul George?
yeah. It kind of stings to hear that, but
What
I
is
don't hear it.
yeah? Give me
I don't
a
really hear any
Paul
lies
George
though.
moment. Yeah, give me a Paul George moment. Give me a moment where he was that guy, and I can't think of one.
There's been games, but because they probably didn't result in wins, it didn't matter. It's not meaningful. It's not memorable, and that's mainly because his guy wasn't there. They didn't really get to run that back. Not one
Yeah,
single year did he and Kawhi Leonard really get to do what we thought they
right.
were going
I
to
agree
do
with that now.
4 or 5
I do
years
agree with
ago.
that. Yeah,
But
right. I do
again,
agree with that.
you're right. It does seem like now he didn't even want to leave the Lakers. I mean the Clippers. He didn't want to leave LA. So now you've got a guy who just got the Philly who doesn't even want to be there. Another guy who can't move and can't play in Embiid, and poor Maxi is just there by himself. just playing
Balling, by the way.
ball and night in and night out. But you just hope that they don't waste his career because that's what it's looking like if they don't either get him out of there or get him some help so he can be successful.
Yeah,
And I hate that for Maxi too. I do. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Your Knicks are not looking that good. At least they haven't here lately. As good as they are, I think your Knicks and my Grizzlies struggle for one thing that we're good against all the bad teams, really good as we should be, but we struggle against the teams in our respective conferences that we're going to have to go through in the playoffs in order to get to the finals. And the Celtics
right.
pretty much blew you out the doors, and then you had my Grizzlies who lost to the Cavs on last night. It wasn't a bad loss. They lost by what 5 or less, but it was still like the rebounding. Oh man, Cleveland is good.
Hmm.
For all the people that is saying nobody can beat Boston, I beg to differ. As much as I said Boston will repeat, I said that they'd be in the finals against OKC. But man, OKC and Cleveland look like the best two teams in the league right now. But because they're young and some people think they're inexperienced, nobody's putting respect on their names. And I just wanted to say that I put respect on both teams. The Cavs are good.
Yeah.
The Thunder are good. Your Knicks, though, T, they really are. They look like they really are the third team in the Eastern Conference, and I think that's kind of a gap. At least that's the way it looks when they play against the Celtics, the Cavs, those teams like
Hmm.
that. Any thoughts on your? Because I know Mitchell Robinson should be probably coming back, but I don't know if he'll save you all. The hot
Hmm.
seat is supposed to be getting a little warm for Tom Thibodeau, and I just wanted to know your thoughts on the Knicks and is it time for a change there?
Yeah, I mean, I think Thibodeau is fine for this season. The real test is going to be in the playoffs. You can't have a first round exit. Honestly, you really can't have a second round exit. That's where they exited last year. Now, of course, they had a ton of injuries last year. Um, this not finals or bust, but you better lose to either Cleveland or Boston, and even those better be a good series. There should not be an upset. You shouldn't be losing to Atlanta or some of these bottom teams that might sneak in through the play in. I'm trying to see some teams at the bottom. You shouldn't be losing to Indiana again. You shouldn't be losing to Miami or, like I said, any of these teams at the bottom of the East that might sneak in. Anything short of a close series loss to Boston or Cleveland to me is unacceptable, and I think that's where I draw the line. But listen, it's going to come down to stars being stars in the playoffs. You know how it goes, man. The NBA is a star-driven league. Brunson or Cat is going to have to take over a series. We've seen Cat do it before. We've seen Brunson do it before. Those two were two of the best playoff performers last year
Yeah,
on their respective teams, different teams at the time. So it's just going to come down to stars being stars, man. Boston has stars, but they also have guys like Derek White, who's not a star, but can take over a game, man. For 5 or 6 minutes, Derek White can be the best player on the court. Um, Drew Holiday, we know what Drew Holiday can do on the defensive end, and he's not terrible offensively. So Boston just has a loaded team, man. And they're in this situation where if I had to put any kind of money down, I'm putting it on Boston. I don't care what their record is because they have the thoroughbreds and they have the team around those guys. When you get players like Al Horford coming back,
hmm,
he's coming back for one reason. He ain't coming back just to be playing basketball.
yeah.
He's coming back for their championship.
Coming back for a back to back.
So, and those guys have championship in mind. They don't have anything else in mind. And for them, it's championship or bust. So, can you go into Boston and beat them? That's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah,
I don't. I'm not super confident in it. I don't really think they can beat the Celtics because the Celtics have been there before, and that means something a lot of the times. Uh, so if it comes down to it, I pick Boston, but that's not a. I don't consider it a bust. So I don't think that Thibodeau's job should be on the line if they lose to Boston or Cleveland. Anything outside of that, then yeah, Thibodeau can update his LinkedIn.
I hear what you're saying, but at some point, Terrence, the Knicks have to get to a point to where they can
At some
bounce.
point, you got to break through.
You
Yeah, at
got to
some
break.
point, you got to
Yeah,
break through.
that's right. You got to break
Yeah,
through. You got to bounce one of those two teams, those top two teams. So yeah, but enough about the Knicks. The Cavs are good, as I said, and I think that I would love to see the Cavs and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. But if it's another round sooner than that, it is what it is. I would love to see those two go in it though, because Jared Allen and Mobley and
man,
Spider seemed like he had missed a shot in 2025. I mean, like it's just they're ridiculous. They're playing out of their mind. Got Struess, Max Struess, and these guys that are coming out the bench who are shooting the peel off of that bitch. I mean, that was a very impressive win. I didn't expect my Grizzlies to win the game, but it's just the dominating fashion on the boards on how they did it. The Cavs are good. That was a great game against
yeah.
The Grizzlies and the Cavs. And I don't think the media is talking about those two low market teams enough. And then when you look over at other teams, like the Warriors, Jimmy Butler. Now that he's gotten there, they are 5-1, I believe, since they acquired him in the trade. Draymond Green said last week, All Star Weekend, we can win the championship. Everybody was pretty much like, "What's Dre smoking?" Including myself. Like nobody really just was dazzled by the trade. They said this didn't really do much for me. People wanted to see Jimmy Butler in Phoenix more than they did in Golden State. But this looks like a good trade so far. And so does Luka and LeBron. That's starting to look pretty good too. I'll talk about what they did on Saturday night. But with the Warriors,
Hmm.
what was that you were telling me in pre-production as far as about the Warriors and their
The
odds?
West is still wide open. People can say what they want to say about OKC or Memphis or any of those other guys. Listen, experience matters, and all of those guys, especially when you add Jimmy Butler to the mix, those guys know when it's time to go to hell, Raphael. Um, those guys know when it's time to play at their best, and they're going to do it in the playoffs. And it makes a difference when if you're Steph Curry, when you can throw that ball to Jimmy Butler, and you are passing the ball to one of the best playoff performers of all time.
Yeah.
But also when you look up the list of the teams that are ahead of them, first of all, the Knicks, I think they are in the ninth or eighth spot now. The teams that are ahead of them aren't that far. I think was only a game ahead of them, and they're declining after the trade situation. Um, and I don't think they. First of all, I think Anthony Davis is done for the year. They're not saying that, but I've heard a few rumors. They don't
Oh,
want to announce it. They don't
ah,
want to announce it because the fans will vote. But apparently, he's got like a grade 3 growing strain, which will require surgery. And they know he's done for the season, but they don't want to announce it because the fans will absolutely go berserk.
hell yes. I just told the fans to calm down. It's gonna be okay. Kyrie and AD are gonna do their thing. They play defense. They'll score enough, and in
Yep.
transition, they'll be everything that we see the Lakers did Saturday night and a little bit better
Right.
because they have more size. And you're telling me that he may not even come back. I heard that he could be out for a month. There was also a report the other day that he kind of got some good news, but he was going back for another opinion from the doctors. I thought
Hmm.
maybe he was going to come back sooner than the month long that he's supposed to be out, and you're telling me that he could be out. I don't know which source is right. I don't even remember the source that I got it
Yeah, I
from.
mean it was just a rumor,
Okay,
but
okay,
apparently this is the injury that he's had back to his New Orleans days that he just keeps re-aggravating. For some reason, those injuries just rear their ugly heads for him at the worst possible time.
yeah,
This was it's actually an adductor. I think that's what they said it was. He had the injury in New Orleans. I know he missed a lot of time for it. I think he had it. I think he missed some times with the Lakers for it too. But now it's apparently it's back and it's just as bad as it's always been. And again, this is just a rumor, but they say he's done for the year. Dallas does not want to announce it because they know what's going to happen if they announce it. They will run their team out of town.
man. I hope that's not the case, T. I really do. I hope it's
They will
not.
run their team. I'm like Charles Barkley. They will run their team to Galveston. with that with that dirty water.
Man, I hope that's not the
But
case.
my point was that they're going to decline because they are just not good without him and without Luca. I love Kyrie to death, but I don't think that team is going to work with that. I think they would have been good with Anthony Davis, but
Yeah,
they also lost Gafford.
yeah.
I think he was out injured. So man, Golden State at the very least will leapfrog them. I think they just blowed them out pretty well yesterday. And I forgot who was above them. Long story short, I could see Golden State just skipping the play-in altogether and being like a 6 seed, 5 or 6 seed. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Very well could happen. And last but not least in the NBA, well, two more things before I get to Luca and LeBron. I want to touch on what Raphael just said here because that was some breaking news a few days ago that really hurt my heart.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Raphael asked the question about if we heard about Victor Wembanyama and his injury. He said that's
Hmm.
crazy. I thought that was a lethal situation. Man, look, this is the same thing I think Chris Bosh went through, and he didn't
Yeah.
come back and play. They forced him to retire. He didn't want to, but I was praying that he would, and thank God he did. I think it was in his leg though, the blood clot. This
Hmm.
is a blood clot for Wembanyama, and they got a lot of bad news all at once because not only is he not able to come back, Greg Popovich is not coming back either, not for this season anyway. He's not expected to return this season, and his NBA future is uncertain. That's according to ESPN Shams.
Hmm.
Popovich's future is uncertain, and he's still recovering from a mild stroke. Uh, Look, Pop's been around for a long time, and we're praying for him and hope everything works out. He's coached. He's a goat. He's a legend, and if he doesn't ever coach again, that doesn't matter. Like we already know
Yeah.
his legacy is already set in stone. But
Hmm.
the fact that he won't return this season, and we don't have Wembyana anymore for the season, he is out with this thrombosis or whatever that's in his shoulder,
Deep
and
deep vein thrombosis. Yeah.
yeah. That I was kind of getting high on De'Aaron Fox and Wemby, and now that he's done, Fox is like, I could have stayed in Sacramento for this, but we have to fast forward. Looks like it for probably the Mavs and the Spurs for next year to see what they're going to look like. Yeah, just your thoughts on Wemby and that whole thing. They say that they think he can come back next year, no problem. But again, Bosch never was able to come back. Now again, he was older.
Hmm.
Wemby is younger, much younger. If that even plays a part, I don't know. But just your thoughts on the Spurs and with Wemby
Yeah.
on.
Well, first and foremost, I absolutely hate it for Wimby. Um, I've been on record for saying I think Wimby is a year or two away from taking over the league. And let me just say, even though he's out this year, I still think that he's a young kid, man. That they'll fix that blood clot up. It won't be a problem. I don't think. I think Chris Bosh's problem was that he had multiple clots, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh,
So it was
okay,
it was
okay,
actually it was actually life threatening for Mr. Bosh. If
oh, okay. Makes sense though.
I do a little research into that. Um, but so this just means the Spurs are going to get probably a top at least 1, 2, or 3 pick. Man, listen, history repeats itself in NBA. They'll probably get the boy out of Duke and go on to win 5 out of 8 championships. It's the NBA doing NBA things. Let
Who
me just say that.
who was the boy out of Duke? Who was that again? Who's the young gentleman?
Cooper, is it Cooper Flag? I think
Okay, okay, gotcha.
I've seen him play a little bit. Man, he's pretty nice. He's about 6'9", 6'10". He can handle. He can do everything. He can do everything.
Okay,
Big boy.
okay, all right.
But he can shoot. He can pass. I mean, he. Of course, he's in college, but like just watching it on TV, he makes those other players look tiny.
Oh,
But he's smooth with it. He can finish with either hand.
yeah.
He can shoot. Good defender. He can definitely get up and slam it. Of course, he's 16. Why couldn't he? Why wouldn't he be able to? Um, yeah, man. If it's just NBA repeating itself. We've seen this story play out before.
True, true. All right, so Luca and LeBron on Saturday night. It was the defense. They swarmed Nikola Jokic. He didn't get enough shot attempts. They took the ball out of his hands, and they forced other teammates for the Nuggets to make a play, to make a shot, which they didn't do enough of. And they pretty much got their asses kicked, at least for that one night on Saturday at home to the Lakers. It was good defense. It was a lot of transition. And when you miss, the Lakers do fly down the court and they get a quick bucket. Austin Reeves was good offensively. LeBron was good offensively and defensively. Luka got his stroke back, his swagger back. And hey man, were we wrong about? We talked about the Warriors and about
Yeah.
how good they look, even though a lot of people didn't really care too much about it, but they are looking good. You talked about that.
Hmm.
LeBron's got the experience, like you talked about with Jimmy Butler. Luka
Hmm.
has some experience. He was in the NBA Finals just last year.
Yeah. Correct.
What do you think about the Lakers? And there's even though it's small ball, they're making it work at least for now. Again, what they did against the Nuggets, they can't do against every team in the NBA. But it
Yeah.
looked good and it looked entertaining. Your thoughts on the Lakers?
I mean, I think it for them, it's just going to depend on who they match up with. I think Memphis will be a terrible matchup problem. And honestly, like even with Denver, I don't think Jokic's problem was necessarily the way the Lakers were playing defense. I mean, it was an issue, but I don't think that is sustainable. They just don't have enough bodies for him. Luka's problem, Jokic's problem is Jokic. And some of these players, and as great as he is, he's such a good passer, one of the best passers ever in the game, maybe the best passing center ever in the game. Um, Sometimes he is too passive, and sometimes that little switch in his head that he has to click to say, "Hey, I want to go put this ball in the goal." Sometimes it just doesn't click enough because they're so caught up in the system and moving the ball, and he's got to get it and look for people and whatever. Now, sometimes you had to put that back to the basket, bag somebody down, and dunk it on them. And he did that a lot against Anthony Davis. Uh, but sometimes that switch just doesn't click in his head. And it's the same with LeBron a lot of times, right? Like a lot of times, if LeBron just decided, hey, I'm going to just score this ball, like who's really going to stop that? But instead, he wants to dish it out and all, and that's fine. Play basketball the right way.
Yeah,
But sometimes you got to say, hey, the best thing for my team is for me to go out and get 40 tonight. And
yeah,
that was one of those games where I think Jokic just really needed to try to dominate, and then those passes would have been there. But just every once in a while you touch it, and then they swarm your ass. Hey man, get under that goal. They don't have a big man. Who's gonna stop him under there? So I don't understand a lot of these strategies. Um, But I mean, the Lakers look good, and furthermore, I think I'm very much impressed with the way Luca and LeBron have gelled together very quickly. Two guys that play very similar, and maybe that's why I thought they would have issues because of how similar they play. Um, but they have, I don't want to say they figured it out, but they figured something out. And we'll see how much they figured out as time goes on. But they have definitely figured something out. And kudos to Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves might be the best. I don't want to call him a flopper because he doesn't. I don't really want to call it total flopping, but he might
right,
be the
right.
best foul drawer. He might be the best foul drawer in the league since James Harden. It
The Lake,
irritates the whole hell out of me, but the man has a skill. His skill is making you foul him.
yeah, the Lakers look good. The
Everything else,
Lakers,
everything else is just fundamental, but he will make you foul him. But they look good though. I mean, and again, the West is wide open. The West is wide open. None of those
yeah.
OKC, Memphis, none of those teams are unbeatable. The Lakers can beat them. Golden State can beat them. We could very well have a Golden State Lakers like conference finals or something. I wouldn't be surprised.
Hey man, shout out to JJ Redick. He put together a great game plan, and he's showing that he can really do the coaching thing and with the X's and O's, and probably even a head coach of the year candidate. I want to touch on what Raphael just said. He said Luca was a good move, but the Lakers did Dwight Howard dirty, and they could use him, especially right now when AD is gone, and he is. I seriously believe that they wouldn't have won the chip without Dwight. And here's the thing. Dwight Howard just came out. There was some news from Bleacher Report that he reached out to LeBron, he reached out to Paul George and Raphael. I don't know if you knew that or not, but Dwight Howard could be a Laker again. And that is the perfect big for them. because he can still give them the spacing on the floor that LeBron and Luka needs. He can still run in transition, and he protects the rim, and he can help them with some more boards. If the Lakers can get second chance points on top of playing good aggressive defense, they got some good. I like their chances, but again, there's going to be certain bigs where they just can't do much, against us. There's not much they're going to be able to do unless they don't have, those teams don't have a good backcourt. Like the Lakers don't think the
Yeah.
Nuggets did, and they showed it. So we're going to keep it moving away from the NBA, but I thought that was interesting that he brought up Dwight Howard. He could be working his way back into the league. That's what he's trying to do anyway. And if he called LeBron, well, we know it can be official if he just gives somebody the word. Rashad Adams, what's up, man? He said, gang, 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 neighborhood in the building, West Side. All right, man, I appreciate that. What's up with you? But yeah, okay, yeah, there you go. Well, your mind is in the right place though, Raphael, because he's trying to get back in. I think he saw the Lakers Saturday night and he was like, they could use me over there. So, but you're dead on. And let's see what happens there. And that would kind of help them because, the James Williams trade from the Hornets got rescinded because of his physical. And that was the big that people thought they needed and they didn't get. All right. Enough basketball. I want to quickly dodge into this damn Matt Stafford stuff. I got something to say. Okay. Now, here's the word with the Rams and Stafford. I have questioned what's the deal here. Like, why are these two willing to separate? I've said that before in past episodes here in the past previous weeks. And my whole thing to this is that, who wants out and why? So the rumor is, let me make sure I get it right. Uh, where did it go? Where did it go? Okay. According to Ian Rappaport, the Rams have given permission for Matthew Stafford's agent to speak with other teams about his value. This is not a trade request. Instead, the Rams and Stafford can gain a better understanding of his value outside the team potentially. Now, this was on Saturday when that news broke. And there's rumors that the Giants are trying to get Stafford, and they're also going to draft Shadur Sanders. And my whole thing is this: I like what the Rams are doing, and I'm going to explain why I'm kind of on the Rams side here in their whole thought process. They're always thinking like 2 or 3 steps ahead. Les Snead, one of the better general managers in this league. Howie Roseman has proved that he's the best general manager right now in the league. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, for
Les
sure.
Snead did this first, 2021 Super Bowl championship. Remember, he's the one that said "fuck them picks," and look what it
Yeah.
did for them. They got the chip in 2021, Matt Stafford's first year after they acquired him. Now, fast forward 4 years down the road, they're not saying F them picks. They're saying we want more picks because they drafted pretty good 1 year removed from Aaron Donald, and you couldn't tell because they put together a lot of pieces to make up for Aaron Donald. And they got a better D line. They know Kyron Williams, who was slept on, had a good year at running back. Puka Nakua, and those guys came back and got healthy, and they were in the NFC divisional playoff round. Okay, now Terrence, here's the point that I'm getting at. The Eagles, as dominating as they were this year and in the playoffs against in the NFC Championship game and the Super Bowl, the one game that was close was the Rams game. The Rams were
Yeah.
one possession away from either going to overtime or beating the Eagles, who are now the Super Bowl champions. So what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say is Stafford is the one who really cost them that game. He didn't look that good. He had some inaccurate throws on second down, third down, fourth down, where they had the plays. The execution was there. He just didn't have great ball placement. And I'm wondering
Mm-hmm.
if Sean McVay and Les Snead and the Rams are saying, all right, so we got the chip. We don't owe you anything else. You're 37. You just turned 37. You're not getting any younger, and you want 50 million per. That's the sources. He wants 50 per. So it sounds like Stafford, in his mind, He's saying, I got the ring. I want the money. I don't care about anything else. And I will go to New York
Yeah.
if that's what it takes. And I'm looking at this whole thing and this whole scenario, and I'm saying, well, the Rams are welcoming you to test the market so you can see that nobody's going to pay you 50 per. That's the same approach the Niners should be taking with Brock Purdy right now. And I know Brock Purdy's 25, not 37, but I would love to see them let him test the waters and he will come back and find out. Okay, well, I don't need 61 million per. I don't have to be the highest paid. 50 will
Hmm.
do. And like he has to, I think has to be a thin line in the sand on whether Niners are gonna meet Purdy at with
Yeah.
on that number, on that average pay. They should pay him, but not what they're saying he wants. Same thing here. I think Stafford is the one who's making the mistake, Terrence. Reason being, you're getting old. Why would you want to leave Hollywood, LA, bright lights, big city? This is a better coaching staff. This is a better team put together. You think I'm gonna go to the Giants to New York and be a bridge quarterback for Shadur Sanders for a couple years and freeze my ass off with a bad coaching staff, a bad team? But Brian Dable's not bad, but as a whole, this organization has been bad. And you think I want to leave this over a $4 or $5 million gap? I'll take the 45 million and just shut the hell up. That's what I think Stafford should be
Right.
saying. And I think
Yeah.
the Rams are saying, Terrence, we've got options. We could go get Aaron Rodgers to replace your ass. We could go bring in Sam Darnold. He may be a little more pricier, but we could do it. Jimmy Garoppolo was our backup. We may keep him in the building. I may kick the tires on Kirk Cousins even. But there's other options with these veteran quarterbacks, and I think they're saying, "Hey man, go out there and test the waters. If you want to leave, leave. You got your hat, get your coat." Whose side are you on this? I'm going with the Rams, and I think that they got a chance to get right back to where they were without Stafford.
Yeah. I mean, this is almost kind of like the conversation I had earlier about Embiid. A little different for Stafford because he does have his championship, as you mentioned. So if his goal is to get money, hey, bro, go get your money. Now, I'm not giving it to you. I'm the Rams right now. I'm not giving it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can go to New York and get it. You can go to, trying to see who else might be desperate enough to pay him. Pittsburgh. And I think they have a little bit of salary cap space. They might pay you.
And the Raiders also have interest in Matt Stafford as well.
Hmm.
Yeah,
The Raiders might pay you. They're desperate. Uh, but we have a vision of how our team is going to look in the next 2 or 3 years. We can't do that if we're going to pay you million. Now we want you here. If you want to try to go after this championship, we are just a piece or two away, and we need you here. We want you here. We need you here. But if it's 50 million that you want, brother, listen. I want you to get it. We just can't give it to you. You got to go somewhere else.
right.
So I'm on. I guess I see both points of view. And this is also a team that now they've already announced they're going to trade Cooper Cup.
Yeah. They put that out. Cooper Cup put that out, and I don't think the
Cooper
Rams
Cup put it
wanted
out.
that to be put out, but yeah, it was, and
Yeah.
that's taken a
So
while now. That's taken a while now, but I think that's because Cooper Cup messed that up by putting that news out. Nobody's
hmm
gonna trade for him now. They're just gonna wait on the Rams to release him. That's what I'm thinking
yeah.
because it got quiet pretty quick after that.
And it's like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, we are clearly strapped for cash, and we're trading a receiver that just won a triple crown a couple years ago, and you are going to ask for 50 million. Nah, bro, I want you to get that 50 million, but go over and get it from somebody else. We can't give it to you. Go get it from the Raiders. They'll yeah, go play in Vegas.
And that's exactly what the Vikings kind of told Sam Darnold. I think they want to let him walk, but then there were reports today that came out that they actually may try to sign and keep Sam Darnold. I thought they were going ride with their rookie, well, second year pro now, JJ McCarthy from Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm confused on that. What should happen between the Vikings and Sam Darnold? Because it seems like people are starting to see that, damn, it seems like the Vikings have realized that everybody is wanting their quarterback. You know how it goes, like it seems like the Vikings are acting like that that boyfriend or that girlfriend that doesn't want you anymore, but they don't want to see you with anybody else either.
Right,
Everybody's
right,
starting to
right.
say we want Sam Darnold, and now the Vikings are like, well, wait a minute, not so fast. What should the Vikings do here with this quarterback situation?
That is a very tough spot to be in. You know, I think it's almost the same with Stafford. If I can bring you back at a bargain price, fine. If not, I want to go with this guy I drafted, and I just have to live with the results. Because at the end of the day, you had a great year. Who was come? Was he comeback player of the year?
Uh, I'm not sure who was comeback player of the year. I'm not sure.
Anyway, he should have been if he wasn't, or at least top two or three.
Uh huh.
Um, Heck of a season to come back from because I mean Sam Darnold was in backup purgatory, and to go from that to having one of the best records in the league is pretty doggone astonishing. And but like if you're gonna ask for 50 million, bro, like off one good season, your only good season in your life, get it from somewhere else. Get it from the Raiders. Get it from New York. Get it from
What up, Johnny?
Pittsburgh.
What up, Johnny Reynolds? What's up with you, man? Terrence, is that what he's asking for? Is he asking for
No,
50
I'm just
per?
saying
Or?
I don't know what I don't know what I'm just using it for an example. Like
Oh, okay,
if you're
okay,
gonna
okay.
ask for something that's astronomical, while we're trying to build something, we want you a part of it. We need you to be a part of it. Listen, we have our quarterback of the future. We can do 1 year. We're not giving you 50 mil. This is our number. If you can't take that number, you got to go to Vegas or New York or Miami or whoever wants to pay you.
I think Sam Darnold should stay in Minnesota. I don't. If I'm
He
the
should stay in
Vikings,
Minnesota.
if I'm the Vikings, I don't. I'm not paying him to stay though. You got to go get your money. The same thing you just said about Rams and Stafford.
Yeah,
Is what I would
yeah,
say about Darnold. Go get your money, bro. We got a young quarterback that we
yeah,
don't have to pay for another 3 years. So you go do your thing, and we're gonna do our thing. But I'm sure they would love to keep him as a backup or a bridge until JJ McCarthy is ready. But that would still cost him because he had such a good year. So that's the gift and the curse that they got out of that. But if
yeah.
I'm
And
Darnold,
shout out to Sam Darnold. Shout out to Sam Darnold for betting on himself. When guys perform well in contract years, all I can do is tip my cap to you. You made yourself some money. You just might have to get it somewhere else.
yeah, I would say so. But if I'm Darnold, don't be greedy here. You got
Yeah,
Justin Jefferson, Kevin O'Connell. These guys are very helpful for you. Stay where you are. If they can give you 25 per or 20 per, that's good money to be a backup because they're saying that they're gonna roll with JJ. And if JJ McCarthy is the next man, if he's their guy, their franchise guy, what room is it for Sam Darnold? They can bring in anybody else to be the backup to JJ. So I can't wait to see what happens with Sam Darnold because yeah,
yeah.
a lot of teams are ready to kick the tires on him, and I don't think that he will look as good anywhere else better than where he just looked right there where he was at. But now with Sean McVay, I give him a chance with them also, but I wouldn't leave if I was Darnold. But I know he wants to go get his money.
No, yeah.
So yeah, and also I said Stafford may have interest from the Raiders. The veteran quarterback is a name to watch if the Rams decide to trade him, and that looked like that could be happening at any time. I'm gonna run through some quick news. Keep an eye on the Buffalo Bills at the combine. There's a report that Buffalo is a fit for Myles Garrett, and they may quietly try to make a big move this offseason. That's according to the Athletic. Um, What's up, Johnny? He said, how do you guys think the Ravens are going to do next year? That's a good question for Terrence, not me. He also said, who's your favorite wrestler? I'll let Terrence answer that one as well. As I look for the next topic
Super
here.
Bowl, Super Bowl, Bret Hart, and I'm not thinking long about either one of them.
That was good. Quick on your feet, T. Real quick.
Quick on my feet.
Yeah,
Listen, to answer the first question, it's time to put up or shut up. We either gonna be able to win with this team or we're not.
right. And the
Favorite
Bengals.
wrestler? Oh, go ahead.
No. I just want to talk about the teams that are watching closely. The Bengals are a team that teams are watching closely. The Bengals will be a popular topic at the combine. Amit, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase wanting deals. That's again according to the Athletic. People are going to be kicking the tires to see if you're not going to pay one, we want them, whichever one that may be. And we know. Chase is going to get paid, and I'm hearing 40 per is going to be the number, which is crazy because 30 per is the number, has been the number. Ayuk just got it, CD just got it, and now. But look, Jamar Chase had a triple crown season, and so he's saying I
In his
want it all.
contract year,
You took too long
in
to
his
pay me.
contract year,
The price
you
went up.
took too long to pay him. That organization they are screwing themselves over
Yeah,
big time. Now you're looking at a situation where probably 60% of your salary cap is going to go to could end up going to a quarterback and two receivers. What the hell are you going to spend on the defense? What the hell are you going to spend on the offensive line? You're going to be in the same situation that you've always been in, where your defense is not great, your offensive line is not great, your quarterback puts up astronomical numbers, and you miss the playoffs.
right. Okay. And then in other news, in the NFL, still, Shadur Sanders will not throw at the combine. He will interview at the NFL scouting combine and throw at his pro day to help out his receivers. But other than that, he won't be throwing. If anybody cares, wide receiver Malik Neighbors had a pretty good rookie year with the Giants. He said that Travis Hunter is a DB and a wide receiver. Malik says that Hunter needs to continue playing both ways in the NFL. The teams that are interested in Matthew Stafford, it's four right now: the New York Giants, the Cleveland Browns, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Las Vegas Raiders would pursue the quarterback if the Rams decided to trade him. Um, and that's pretty much it for that. And
Drivers, you want to answer that question?
I don't think I do. I haven't read it
You
either.
don't.
I haven't read it either. But no, I don't think I do.
You don't.
Okay. All right. So moving on. What's up, man? Hope all is well. Um, and the insiders, the New York Giants, they want Shadur. Multiple sources are convinced that the New York Giants, has its sights set on Sanders, according to ESPN. So the Giants, uh,
Okay. I'm sorry.
yeah, I'm not gonna hold it. I'm not gonna let certain comments hold the show, man, unless
Yeah, man.
he
I'm
really
sorry.
he really want to talk. You good, man? You good? I hope everything is good, Mister 300. But we gonna keep it moving. I think that the Giants are saying they want Stafford as their veteran bridge quarterback, and they're ready to draft Shadur
Yeah.
Sanders. Now, you were asking me a question earlier, Terrence, that I don't have an answer for, and that was, what do you think the Giants are willing to give up to get Stafford? What would the
Yeah.
draft compensation look like? Because I'm not sure what that would
That's a
be,
good
but
question.
the
That's a
Rams
good
ain't giving them
question.
up for chump change.
Maybe a third.
Okay.
Maybe a third. I mean, I think that's as high as it goes.
Mm-hmm.
Football is not like basketball, and of course, we know that draft picks are like gold, man, and you don't really give them away. Uh, you don't really give them away like that, not for a player that has not aged out, but he is at the very end of his rope. That third round pick could end up being um, that third round pick could end up being a franchise changing player. You just never know. And I don't want to give that up for Stafford. And that's not to say that Stafford isn't good, but if I'm a GM right now, I'm not touching a Stafford trade. If I could sign him, that would be different. But a Stafford trade, I wouldn't touch it. Not when there's other veteran guys out there. Is there really that big of a difference between Aaron Rodgers and Matt Stafford?
That would be the good question. I don't know how people view that. Some people think that
You
Aaron
know?
Rodgers is washed, and Matthew Stafford was just in the divisional playoff round. But
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
would say if you swap teams, could Aaron Rodgers have did the same thing with the Rams? And what would Stafford had been with the Jets? And poor Jets. Like, why does Rodgers get to go to LA, but Stafford goes to New York, but to the wrong New York team? Like, the Jets had Rodgers. Shouldn't they be the ones making a trade? They hadn't officially released Aaron Rodgers yet, have they? I don't think it's official yet. Seems like they
No, I
should be
think they have to
swapping.
wait until I think he'll be like a June 1st release or something like that. I'm not sure exactly how that works, but
Okay.
some
I'm
kind
not
of way
sure if
where they
it'll take
save
that
money in the
long.
process.
Probably more like when the new league year begins in a couple of weeks, but I'm not sure though, so don't quote me on that. But if it is
Hmm.
June, either way, we know he's leaving. And Aaron Rodgers could
Yeah.
possibly be going to the Steelers. He could be going to the Rams. He could be going to, these are teams that are kind of like winning teams right now. But then there's other teams like the Titans and the Colts that could be eyeing him, and they're not winning teams. He has told TMZ that he would like to be going to a team that's winning right now. That's a good team, but they need to want him to. So we'll see where he ends up. But it's probably the Rams. I said and went viral pretty good last week by saying that he's going to the Vikings. Nobody's talking about that, but it could happen. I think that Darnold is probably going to go get his money. The Vikings are going to let him do it, unless they change their mind, which it seems like they could. But yeah, I don't know exactly where Aaron Rodgers is going, but it looks like he definitely had some options. And as bad as he looked with the Jets, all the damage that he did to the Jets, he still has a shot to be somewhere with another team. The Steelers are also interested in Stafford. Can't wait to see how all of that shakes up. This is a crazy, crazy. I can't remember the last time we've had this many veteran quarterbacks who are on their way out, but the right team, they could still get another good year or two.
Well,
Russell Wilson could still
yeah,
end up somewhere like the Raiders or the
yeah.
Giants as well. There's no guarantee the Steelers are gonna stick with him. I don't think they will either, to be honest with you, because him and Arthur Smith, as I said on previous episodes, him and Russell Wilson didn't really get along. He didn't like Russell Wilson changing plays at the line of scrimmage and all of that. So yeah, Johnny says, "Who's your favorite wrestler in 2025 right now?" I like that Money in the Bank suitcase. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And I'm sorry to say, man, even though we're gonna get into the wrestling here shortly, we need to get into it right now to be as a matter of fact. But man, I don't have a best wrestler. To be honest with you, nobody's
Yeah.
really like. There's no great wrestler in wrestling today. If you ask me, I don't even watch it for wrestling. I watch it for the stories, the storylines, where you're going with it. Do I like the characters in the story? And then can you put together at least a decent match? That has me like, okay, that was pretty good. If you started
Hmm.
well and you ended well, I'm with it. I don't really have a favorite wrestler though right now. I'm sorry, I don't. I guess it would still be CM Punk. I've always been a Punk guy, and I'm glad that he's back in wrestling. Um, but even I'm not even crazy about Punk in the ring anymore. He's all right, but he's still not what CM Punk used to be. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Chad Gable is probably the best wrestler. Um, if I want to be real right now from what I see. But again, they don't know how to use Chad Gable. He's someone right now trying to learn and find a luchador and what they're doing on that. We're gonna get into the wrestling in a minute here. But I think that's pretty much it for the trade buzz. I said the Vikings are open to doing a deal with Sam Darnold. I've said the Stafford could be going to the Giants. Rodgers could be going to the Rams. Um, that's pretty much it, I believe. We talked about the Warriors. We talked Debo Samuel again. He's got teams that's interested in him. Let's get it over with. Let's make it happen. Now there are also reports that the front office in San Francisco are a little bit heated with Kyle Shanahan because they think he's overspent. He spent too much money. Um, they didn't like that they gave Brandon Ayuk 30 per when they were just about to trade his ass to Pittsburgh or to New England. And Kyle Shanahan ran in the office and said, "Stop, don't do it." And then he didn't even play much of 2024. So they're kind of heated about that. And they've got some expiring contracts, and everybody's trying to figure out what to do. I don't know how true that report is, but if it is, it's like it's about damn time y'all are opening your eyes up to what I said was going to happen when you try to pay everybody instead of, like continue to draft good. And they kind of got away from what they were doing in the beginning that got them where they are now. And it's starting to catch up with them. It has caught up with them, in my opinion. How's the San Francisco 49ers going to do next year? Johnny, that depends on it depends on the Niners offseason. If we fix the trenches, and I mean on both ends, we can definitely come back. Last year was a Super Bowl hangover. I said it would happen. It happened. It's over with and done. But they've got to fix the trenches first before they start talking about go get Joey Bosa, go get Miles Garrett, go get Devontae Adams. Those positional players mean nothing if you can't protect your investment. You can't give your quarterback 50, 60 per and not address the offensive line. If Shanahan continues to go another offseason without doing that, it's going to be bad again. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, Houston Texans fan. Hold on, you're a Bills and Texans fan, Josh? Johnny? Really? Hmm. I was about to say, so who do you go for if they play each other in the divisional round? Which one do you go for? I wonder. Oh, one last thing. I talked about how Stafford wants 50 per. The last thing I'm gonna say is there was a certain team that came out, and it turns out that they are looking to ban tush push. Now they discussed it last year, had some complaints, but then they said, fuck it. They said run it back. And the Eagles are now Super Bowl champions. Now that we found out that there's an NFL exec that says anonymous franchise has made a proposal about the Eagles' signature play, and we found out that unidentified team was the Green Bay Packers. They are the ones who wants the tush push ban. I wanted it banned last year. This year I was just more like, oh well, if you can't beat them, join them. And the Bills said, "The hell with that, we'll do it too." And they kind of are the second best at running that play. It's just that their quarterback's too damn tall for it, and I think that it probably wouldn't be sustainable. That's pretty much it. That's all I got to say on that. Now it's time to get into the raw stuff, I guess. Terrence, you got anything else with the football NFL news?
Nah, I'll just add that you really can't ban the tush push. It's just a quarterback sneak. How about making sure the team doesn't get 4th and 1 or 4th and inches?
That would help. That would help
That
because
would
if you
help.
can't
That would
stop, if you
help.
can't get to that, you know it's coming. Um, but it does kind of seem like a cop out.
It's a legal play. Not a cop out. You know what I hate? See, I don't hate about it from a standpoint, but from a betting standpoint, turn around and give that ball to the running back, please. Makes more sense to keep it in the quarterback's hands or whoever's on the center and just go forward as opposed to turning around a yard or two and handing it out to a running back. And the sensibility in it. But from a betting standpoint, it irritates the hell out of me when I have a running back down on for a touchdown and they're on the 1 yard line and they don't give the ball to the running back. They keep it. The Eagles keep it, and Saquon doesn't get his touchdown, or who's the other guy behind Saquon? It happened a lot last year with Swift. Like there were probably 15 touchdowns that got taken from Swift because they all went to Jalen Hurts sneaking it. And poor James Cook. I mean, he just never gets 1 yard runs.
I
Poor
know,
James
man.
Cook.
I
Poor
mean,
James Cook.
they do them like anybody ever watch Varsity Blues, where the head coach always would run the black running back all over the field from the 20 to the 20, and then he would never let him get in the end zone. He would throw it at the goal line to a receiver or something like that and keep the running back out of the end zone. And that's almost seems like that's what they're doing. Ryan Anthony is like
Yeah, that's what I hate
he's
about
all
it. But
laughing.
not the football
Right,
standpoint
right,
though.
right. I like the Houston Rockets doing basketball. Okay. Do you think the Houston Rockets are? What do you think the Houston Rockets are in the NBA Western Conference? Like my Grizzlies struggle with them. Do you think the Lakers could beat them after what they did to the Nuggets Saturday night? The Rockets came from out of nowhere, and I'm happy for them. So shout out to you, Johnny, and your Rockets. You're getting more out of Dylan Brooks than we got out of him. I'll give you that. All right, so I gotta move on to WWE. I hope that we don't lose you all, but if so, it's okay. We're trying to see something here. The people on X, formerly known as Twitter, they like this part of the episode. And if you all like it, please let us know in the comments how you feel about our content. If you would prefer to hear more NFL or NBA or wrestling news, just let us know what you prefer, and we'll do our best to provide that. So Monday Night Raw just ended a little bit before we went live, Terrence, and it was not a lot to talk about. SmackDown from Friday, not a lot to talk about. There's only two things that I think we should really be pinpointing: the Rock and the promo with Cody Rhodes, him saying that he wants Cody's soul, and then fast forward to tonight, and we get Cody to talk about a little bit of what happened on Friday night, and Seth Rollins, and the moment they had CM Punk and Logan Paul started the show pretty good. And we ended the show with new tag team champions, new women tag team champions, right
Correct.
before the Chamber. So I would like to think I like Roman Reigns. Yeah, so do I. Wherever he is these days, and that's I think this is another reason why we have a boring build to WrestleMania 41. Roman Reigns is not the moral of the story. He's not even there
Yeah.
right now. They've written him off
Right.
TV. We're not even
Yeah.
necessarily sure if Roman Reigns is going to be at WrestleMania. They said he's out for the unforeseen future. That doesn't sound like he's coming back at the Chamber to disrupt Seth Rollins. We think he will, but he may not come back until night after Mania or on down the road. I mean, like, how bad is a
Mhm.
curb stop on the steel steps going to do to you? But here we are. Everything seems funny, I think, because he's not the moral of the story. It's not around him. But that's just my 2 cents. Terrence, a lot to dive into, but I took everything else out. Who cares? The Intercontinental Women's Championship, yeah, it was retained by Laura Vaquera. And Gunther snapped out on what's his name, and just another filler night if you want to be
Yeah.
real. We praised Triple H, Terrence, but I think it's time that we become critical of him now. He's not cooking as he has been. He's not doing too good. What's his name? Road Dogg is getting smashed right now on the internet and social media for his booking because they just said that he's the new co-head writer, and they stuck it to his ass immediately and said, if this is the best you got, I see why Vince McMahon was saying no, 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 right before they would go live and scrap things and, just throw them a whole nother show. Now, I don't know if
Yeah.
any of that is true or false as far as how much he is to blame for this. Most people just want to blame The Rock. But,
Yeah.
Terrence, let's start there then. The Rock said by the end of that whole 20-minute bullshit promo, at least it looked like that at the time. I'll explain why it's not as bad as we thought. But Terrence, what in the world is going on here? What did we watch Friday night when he asked for Cody's soul? He wants him to be his champion.
I still don't know.
We're gonna talk about it, John. We're gonna talk about it, John.
I still don't know.
What up,
No,
LeVar? What
I
up,
think
bro?
I think this is the Rock kind of trying to transition into a Mr. McMahon type authority figure,
Yeah,
um, which is interesting. But like, you also are still the Rock, right? Like, yeah, you do have authority, you do have power. Um, the most interesting thing I heard is that the Rock might end up starting his own little like anti-bloodline faction, um, just from people that he's bought. And that could consist of Kevin Owens, Seth Rollins, and apparently Drew McIntyre is, and that's who some people think will actually be his champion is Drew McIntyre, which I can see. Drew has been on a warpath to take out the bloodline. Apparently, The Rock owes him a favor for something. I forgot exactly what it was. All these favors are getting old now. Um, but that's just one theory I heard. Listen, this
okay.
has opened up. I don't think I've ever heard as many theories for a wrestling storyline as I have for this particular one. So that's a good thing. We're all speculative. None of us really know what the heck is going on. We just know that The Rock is all of a sudden turning to Shang Tsung and wants people's souls. Um, and so one thing The Rock said last year was, "Shut up and enjoy this ride that the final boss is taking you on." This is the part where I'm going to shut up and try to enjoy the ride the final boss is taking me on, because
Yeah,
that's all I can do. I don't know anything else. Like, that whole speech was just, it was a lot, and then it was nothing, and then it was a lot. So that's the only way I know to describe it. So I'll just see how it goes. We'll see Saturday. Saturday we'll get a lot bigger of an idea of what's going to go on, but apparently Drew might be the guy.
and where are your sources at about that? Like, if you don't mind
No
sharing.
sources. This is just
Oh,
all. This is just all speculation that I've read in various places.
Oh, okay.
Just scrolling really. Like I've gotten to the point to where I try to actually avoid the dirt sheets. Um, but we both both delve into storytelling in some form or another. I read somebody's comments, I think, on a thread somewhere, and it didn't make a lot of sense, but I could understand it because of the way Drew has been acting. He all of a sudden, first of the year, he all of a sudden got on this bloodline warpath. Seth, we know Seth history with Roman, and then Kevin Owens has been attacking people who helped Roman. So just kind of makes a little bit of sense in that regard. So I mean, we'll see. But when I read that, I was like, okay, this is probably the only thing that I can see that like is totally outside the box.
Yeah, I didn't understand what they were doing with Drew McIntyre. T. They started
See,
talking. They started talking like he was about to just remember him and Solo had the conversation. They came on an agreement. Let's knock the bloodline out, and me and you will cross paths after that, and we'll deal with each other then. But right now, we've got a mutual
hmm
interest in getting rid of Roman and Jay and all of those guys. And then he
right.
was transferred from Raw to SmackDown through the transfer portal, and then we hear the rumors about how there was an angle where Damian Priest was supposed to throw him over at the Rumble so they could start their WrestleMania feud. It didn't really turn out like that. McIntyre talked to creative and said, "Hey, we could do better than this." And now it looks like they're going to go in another direction. We just don't know which. Could it be him and
We
LA
don't know.
Knight? Could it be him and LA Knight and Damian Priest in a ladder match or something for the United States Championship? Even though Drew
Yeah,
McIntyre should not be in that category. It should be a world championship. He had too good of a 2024 for them to do him like this in 25. But I'm just not sure where they're going with it. We thought we
yeah.
were going to get McIntyre and Roman. Then we were like, okay, it looks like they're going Roman and Rollins and Punk. And who knows? But I don't even know if they know. That's why I was saying that it seemed like they had The Rock penciled in. And then maybe he got picked up on another movie. Now I can't do it. So let's do this. It just seems like it's a lot of pivots going on here. That's just what it seems like. I don't know.
Yeah.
But um what's gonna happen? We just talked about the Rock and Cody. He they're gonna make you watch it Saturday now because he will be there waiting on an answer from Cody. Cody
Yeah.
talked about it on Monday night. What did you get from Friday? And then did anything Cody said on Monday? Did anything he said on Monday Night Raw tonight help you understand better on what he's probably going to do? Because I mean, Terrence, as crazy as this seemed, this could go so many different ways. And I
Right.
think people are looking for Cody to turn heel. They would like for us to get a corporate Cody. I like it. I think they should do it. I don't think they will, but I think they should. Why
Listen.
not?
Well, let me answer that. From a wrestling standpoint, I understand, and you're not wrong.
He makes a lot of money. He
Like
sells a lot
it
of
would be a
merchandise.
it, that's it. The WWE is a merchandise. WWE is a merchandise selling company, and they live off of that. Listen, these guys, the wrestlers themselves, they live off that. They have a baseline guaranteed money. The rest of it is in like merchandise, and they're not trying to give that up, man. I think we will get a heel Cody one day, because he's so true to the business that he's going to say, "Screw that merchandise, let me do this." I don't think that's right now. And if you remember when The Rock sold out to Vince, we all thought it was going to be like Mankind or Ken Shamrock, and then it ended up being The Rock who turned on them in the triple threat match. So I think they're kind of paying a little homage to that. He's coming out trying to recruit Cody, and it's going to end up being somebody else. I don't know if it'll be Drew or Seth or whatever the case may be, but it won't quite be Cody. And I don't think Triple H could say, "Hey, screw this merchandise. This is what we're doing. It's better. It's best for business." Then I'm here for it.
Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Can I go ahead and
Or The
say what
Rock
I
could
think?
say it because I don't know if Triple H really has power over The Rock. Like I think The Rock probably legitimately has creative control, which is you know
I
a
don't.
different discussion that we might have to have later.
Yeah, because I
Just
don't
hold
know
it
if
in your
it's
pocket.
yeah, because I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Some people are just saying, "Stay away, Rock. Stay gone. Stay retired. You keep messing up
Yeah.
WrestleMania." But my thing is, he was about to mess up WrestleMania 40, and then the Cody Crybabies made them pivot, and he didn't have to though. It was The Rock's idea to say,
Right.
"Hey man, let's give them what they want," and it turned out to be one of the best WrestleManias I've seen in quite some time. Now, however, it
Yeah.
was so damn good. WrestleMania 41 doesn't look like it's gonna come close to topping it, and I think that they are just putting themselves in more holes and then trying to dig themselves out of it. Did you get anything from what Cody said tonight though that makes you think that um just did anything Cody said tonight kind of give you a better vision on what's going to happen at the Chamber and leading up to WrestleMania?
No, I don't have any indication, man. I really don't. What I took most of it was Seth being regretful for his decisions. But anything Cody said, I didn't really get much out of, man. But I do appreciate the character depth of Seth Rollins, who can say, "Hey, look, I did this back then. The ripple effect has made me hate this guy." He talked about hating Roman, about hating CM Punk. And he talks that him doing what it took to win the championship is what caused that. So um, that's what I took from it. That to me, that was more about Seth than it was about Cody. And Seth could be the guy. Maybe he's having these flashbacks and saying, "Hey, I want to be that guy again."
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and quickly say what I think is gonna happen. But on the
Okay.
record, for the record, I think Cody should go heel. Corporate Cody sounds good. Change the name to Corporate Cody. Now you're really the American Nightmare because American Nightmare sounds heel. American Dream is
It does.
babyface. American Nightmare sounds
If
heel. Kevin
if you
Owens already
will,
Kevin Owens already kind of got him on the edge, from their feud. The,
yeah,
the way he looked at Sami Zayn, it was so cringe. Like, yeah, yeah, look at him, but I effed him up, and then he just whoa, like, bruh, like you busted Kevin Owens open. Babyface, you're celebrating that. It just looks like he's ready to jump off the cliffs. It could also make us like not trip about him still being the champion because people are ready for him to lose their title. The people who are sick of him, who are stale and bored of him, I think I think they need it. But then again, knowing the WWE, Cody Rhodes is now the biggest babyface since Cena and Hogan. I
yep.
understand why they won't do it, and I know they won't do it. So I'm gonna tell you what I think they're gonna do. All right, bear with me here. Cody's gonna tell The Rock no. Right? The
Yep.
Rock will probably continue to try to lure Cody in and get him to go heel, but it probably still ain't gonna happen. I would even use Karrion Cross, who's been all in Sami Zayn's ear, trying to get him to change sides. Maybe he could
Hmm.
also be in Cody Rhodes' ear. Maybe one day he's in the back, he's saying something too, like Cody. They don't love you, they don't respect you, they build you up to let you down. I'm telling you, just f them, whatever. Maybe Cody starts to look around like, yeah, I am getting sick of this shit. But I don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna happen. He's gonna reject Rock. I'm pretty sure he'll tell The Rock no. A lot of people think John Cena's gonna win the Chamber. I don't. Again, ladies and gentlemen, even though he's part time, he's not gonna be here all of 2025, but he's
Right.
gonna be here on and off for all of 2025. Cena does not have to win the Chamber. He does not have to win the 17th championship at WrestleMania. He can do that at SummerSlam. He can lose it at Survivor Series. There's so many things. They've got all of 2025. Why is everybody thinking that Cena's going to win this chamber and face Cody?
Yeah.
It's the dirt sheets, Terrence. They're listening to the dirt sheets. Everybody's been saying
Yeah.
for about a month now that they've got Cody and Cena in ink, not even in pencil. But I disagree.
Hmm.
I disagree. And I'm gonna tell you why. I do think it will be Cody and Cena, but I think it'll be Cody and Cena versus Punk. And here's why. Cody tells The Rock no. CM Punk wins the Elimination Chamber. That'll probably be because Roman Reigns is going to show up, and Roman Reigns is going to Roman Reigns is going to interfere, and Seth Rollins will probably not win the Chamber because of that. And I think that Punk will get. I'm not even sure if Punk wins the Chamber. To be honest with you, Cena may win the Chamber. I changed that. Cena will probably win the Chamber. Maybe Roman will be the reason why Punk didn't win because he tried to get Seth.
Mm,
He speared Punk
yeah.
instead, and so now we've got Cena winning the Chamber. He's going to face Cody. CM Punk says, "No, the hell with that. I still got my favor," and he gets that favor from Paul Heyman, and that is to insert me. And I don't know how much power Paul Heyman has, but we all seem to think that
Right.
he's going to really, really help Paul or CM Punk out because Punk helped Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns out, during War Games.
Right.
So I think Punk
Yeah.
gets into the main event of WrestleMania still because of his favor. He doesn't have to win the Chamber or the Rumble, which he did not, and I don't think he will. Cena will probably win the Chamber, and then Punk inserts himself in. We've got a triple threat. In that triple threat match, everybody is thinking that, okay, um, is Cody gonna change? Is he gonna go heel to win? That's exactly how I would go with it. But I think what happens is The Rock, when I'm taking it back like you just did, Terrence, he slides the chair in the
Uh-huh.
ring, he gives it to CM Punk, and Punk stabs Cody in the front, just like he said he would, told him that to his face. And CM Punk is the new WWE champion, and he is corporate Punk. And CM Punk said, "The hell with y'all, call me a hypocrite." Seth Rollins has got more beef. It looks like he is the hypocrite that Seth Rollins has always said Punk is. But Punk doesn't give a
Yeah.
damn. He had the favor from Paul Heyman. He cashed it in. And Rock is looking for a corporate champion. CM Punk says gladly, "I ain't got much time left here in this company, and I'm here to make money and not friends." There it is. You're welcome, WWE, because I don't even think you
Yeah.
know what you want to do. But this is what you're probably going to do. Even though I think it should be Cody, I would not be surprised if they go CM Punk. He wins the championship. And don't get me wrong, Cena will probably still break Ric Flair's record and get that 17 title. And he'll probably go against CM Punk and win that title later on down the road, like SummerSlam. But I think we're gonna have the Cody of the Summer of Punk, and The Rock will come in periodically to check on his champion. But the one
Yeah.
thing I gotta say about The Rock, and I'm done. The Rock is going to have to stop playing Final Boss Corporate Rock. Final Boss Corporate Rock. Stop going heel and babyface too far back. And first you'll slap the,
Right.
the herpes off of somebody, and then you say, "Hey, New Orleans, we're gonna be at WrestleMania is gonna be here next year. Yay!" He needs to
Oh
stop
man.
going back and forth. Be Vince McMahon, heel, villain, all the way. That's how I see it, though, Terrence. Punk is gonna win. He's gonna get the last laugh at WrestleMania. Cena's gonna win the chamber though, because Roman is gonna fuck everything up, and Punk is gonna have to use the favor to get in. That's the only reason why I'm not saying Punk's gonna win, because he's got the favor, and
Right.
that's me. How do you have it? I mean, we can come back and do a whole nother elimination chamber prediction
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
Saturday, but that's mine right
Yeah, for
there.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might want to do that, man, because I don't know right now. This is one that I legitimately don't have a clue. Like, not like I can formulate a reason why this guy should win. I can formulate a reason why that guy should win. Like, I do think it comes down to Drew, CM Punk, or Cena. Uh, but I can't tell you which one. And I think that is the beauty of what Triple H does. Vince was so predictable. Vince would have had he would have had John Cena in this thing with like Henry Godwin or uh you know Sin Cara, guys that you know are not going to go to WrestleMania. Like, come on, Vince. We're not stupid, you know. So Triple H is at least formulating it in a way to where I'm on my toes because I don't know for sure. That's where I give him credit for a lot of the things, and he goes out of his way, I think, sometimes to work the dirt sheets. So like, is this
Which
really true to what they're saying?
which hurts them
Or is he
sometimes.
really? What's that?
Which hurts them sometimes, I think. Him trying to
Yeah, I
swerve
think
so
so
much.
too. Yeah, I think so. I think so. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm intrigued by it, man. But I won't lie to you, I have no idea who's going to win this thing.
Well, what's up to Johnny Reynolds? He said sucks at Logan Paul's in Elimination Chamber. Yeah, well, I don't hate Logan Paul like most people though. It is what it is, and he's not that bad. He had a great promo earlier tonight with CM Punk as they started the show.
Really good,
The
really good.
Really good. I think I agree. And he slapped the blood out of CM Punk's mouth because he actually he was bleeding a little bit there. He got a nice good slap on him, and before he uh, you know, tucked his tail and ran out of the ring after that slap. What's up to the American Ranger? He said the Bengals should have went to the Super Bowl. It's bull crap that we didn't get to make it. You didn't even make the playoffs, American Ranger. You didn't even make the playoffs. He also said he gave up on wrestling years ago. It's the same scripted shit every week it airs. Well, yep. So is football, but we still watch that too.
I
Well,
knew it was coming.
at least in my opinion, yeah. But hey, American
Yeah,
Ranger, I feel you, bro. I understand, man. Look, don't watch what you don't want to watch. I don't blame you. I have left wrestling many of times. Terrence can tell you that. I come back when I think
yeah.
it's worth watching, and I go away again when I think it's no longer worth watching. And after this WrestleMania season, I'm not sure if I'm going to hang in there like I did from 24 to 25. The Rock is the reason why I hung in there. I was waiting to see what he said when he said, "Don't you break my heart again." I wanted to know what that was he put in his hand. And then they just kind of just threw that all away and said, "Oh, we're friends now. We're drinking
Like it never
tequila.
happened.
We're
Like it
drinking
never
tequila and
happened.
getting drunk together. Our mamas are friends now, like it never happened." I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? What is this? And so I blame Triple H, head of creative, because and if he don't do something with Carmelo Hayes, I'm done with that. I'm done. Don't make
Now,
me go
like
back.
when the gentleman asked for my favorite wrestler, like I really want to say Carmelo. I like that guy.
That's a good one, T. And I wasn't thinking about
Yeah.
it when he asked, but yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, good. I like Carmelo. The NXT is to rise. And then when you rise to fame and you get moved to the main roster, there shouldn't be any more punishment. There shouldn't be any more climbing the ladder. They got there. They're in the main roster. Stop making them a jobber. Stop teaming them up with the Miz. What are we doing here? This is the reason why people call Triple H and the WWE racist when they don't push good black talent that they have. It's shit like that while we say it, and that's the reason why we walk away at times. Rock, you're the final boss. Make something happen with that. Don't just let your cousins be the only ones that get pushed. Let's get all these people some good. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, the unsanctioned match. We'll talk about that at the chamber. The women's chamber, we need to predict on who's going to win that. We'll come back and do all of that either Thursday or Friday before Saturday, March 1st, Elimination Chamber in Toronto. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why it's pretty predictable who's going to win the women's chamber, and nobody can see it. But I'll save that for right now. We're finna get out of here, guys. It is late here on our end, Central Time. It's midnight. It's another day. It's Terrific Tuesday. We got Jay Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania. We do. They got a long bill for that too. They probably moved too soon with that one, but that's why I always thought maybe that's going to be the one that's going to be the triple threat. Nobody's really talking,
Hmm.
but we'll see. CM Punk said he was going to face Cody Rhodes, and he said he was going to be the world champion, though, not the WWE champion. Something else to think about. Thank you, LeVar. We appreciate it. All right. So that's pretty much it. I'll come back later in the week, and I'll talk more about Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward and where they fit in the draft, why nobody's throwing at the combine but three quarterbacks that nobody's even talking about, and what's going to happen with the top pick. What's going to happen with the Tennessee Titans? Are they going to trade down and trade down with who? There's so many different things that can happen, and I can't wait to see where this all goes. Where's Stafford going to happen? What's going to happen with him? When is Debo going to get traded? And yeah, yeah, he said, take your ass to sleep. Wow. Yeah, we finna do that right
I
now.
am in a few minutes.
It's been a long one, man. It's been a long one. And look, staying up trying to watch a 2.5 hour show that's sometimes meaningless, that ain't easy, man. And that's what we did. We could have been recording at 7, 8 p.m., but we're trying to wait on this damn near 3 hour Raw to end on Netflix. And and new tag team women's champions. Is there any reason why they decided to do that real quick, Terrence? And I'm gonna let you go. Why did they do this right before the chamber?
I, you know, it's rough because I thought that Jay would have come back and made them lose the
Me
titles.
too.
No, I'm not. Now I'm not so convinced that Bianca and Naomi are the ones that attacked her because the loss to me the loss should have meant more. Now
Yep.
maybe it's going to be a situation where Bianca is going to be, nearing a win in the chamber, and maybe Jay will come back and interrupt that. Um, but to me, it's still the loss should have still been more impactful. And I think Jay coming back would have made that more impactful. But you know what I mean? Like now, it's just like, all right, what is she gonna? How is she gonna get her revenge outside of a match?
Yeah.
Um,
And they wait until the
I don't
chamber.
know.
I mean, she's been at the performance center. She was cited a month ago when she first got
Yeah,
back in Orlando at the performance center training, getting ready for a comeback. So we assumed it was going to happen any week. I think a month has passed now. We still haven't saw her. So I'm wondering too, like, what's the hold up here? What are you waiting on? I don't know. But look, we've been here long enough. I want to thank everybody that came in and joined us. Like I said, I'll probably come back solo and I'll have a few more things to talk about. Sometimes a lot of things digest, and I'm like, I forgot to say this, I forgot to say that. Let me talk and see who wants to debate with me. There's times where I'll kick TT in and he can jump in later on in the day, and there's sometimes he can't, and I just debate with you all. I'm here to do that, and I'm gonna start taking calls later this week for anybody that wants to call in and debate with whatever I'm talking about. But NBA is starting to get a little juicy here. The WWE WrestleMania season is, we think, trying to heat up, and baseball is back, ladies and gentlemen. Baseball is back, and I've been watching baseball a little bit more. Let me know in the comments if y'all are baseball fans and y'all want to talk some Dodgers. I like the Dodgers. Terrence is a very good, he knows more about the bullpens around the league than I would, but he knows who. I remember you telling me the Dodgers are a good hitting team. They're going to beat the Yankees.
yeah,
Boy, did
yeah,
they do it. Yeah. So,
yeah.
yeah, spring is upon us. It's getting close. And I'll be back there to talk about all of that and more. And we hope that news about Anthony Davis isn't true. But if so,
Correct.
if so, we feel for the Mavs fans, and I can see why they're holding that information in. And again, prayers to Popovich and Victor Wembanyama on the
Yeah.
Spurs. We talked about them earlier. We hope that Wembanyama can come back next year and he gets that blood clot removed. And we hope Pop recovers well from that mild stroke. And next year, the Spurs can be a team to be reckoned with. That's all I got. Thank you all for listening and watching the Great Debate Show. We'll be back. Until next time, y'all be safe out there.
Peace out,
Peace.
y'all. LeVar, I'm going to sleep.
For sure.